Hey guys, before we proceed with the video, I'll greatly appreciate it if you can check out the MetaFay guide that is in the link below. I wrote an extensive guide on this Blazy Rocks box deck, so do give it a visit and let's proceed with the video. Welcome back guys to my YouTube channel. We are going to quickly go through my latest Blaziken iteration of a deck. It's basically Blazy Rocks is what I call it. It's Blaziken with a Lunatone Solrock engine, and we're going to be using Okidogi as our primary attacker, and of course Blood Moon Luna as our secondary attacker. It's basically like your Barbarical Okidogi deck. The only difference is Blaziken is your energy accelerator instead of Barbarical, right? And of course there are pros and cons in terms of switching between the two. Barbarical of course is a single prizer, and I think the main thing about it is that it's a stage 1, it's a fighting Pokemon, so it's a lot easier to come online. But I do believe Blaziken as a tankier option has its benefits as well, especially when you play against Dragapult and stuff. The ability to tank, the ability for your energy accelerator to tank is absolutely crucial. It's also a fire Pokemon, which is great, you know, one-shotting grass Pokemons and metal Pokemons. But I think the main plus to Blaziken EX is the ability to attach any basic energy cards to any Pokemon, which is something that Barbarical cannot do. Barbarical can only attach fighting energy to fighting Pokemons, right? And that's where Lili's Clefairy cannot come in, and that's the flaw to me in that deck. And that's why Barbarical Okidogi seems to have some difficulties in terms of facing Dragapult, but not so much in this deck, right? So a very simple deck. Legacy Energy is our ace pack. We do consider Unfair Stem and Secret Box and whatnot, but I think Legacy Energy is the best because it, you know, goes in hand in hand with Clefairy, you know, going up against Lucario and Dragapult. You know, you don't want to be exchanging prizes too easily, and that's where the Legacy Energy comes in. Of course, then we have Team Rocket's Articuno as well. A deck that I'm heavily considering is the Baby Blaziken, which I actually had the Baby Blaziken in my original iteration. But we're not playing it in this deck, only because this is my earlier iteration actually. If you were to look at my MetaFay guide, I actually included Baby Blaziken in it, and I've indicated and I've stated the reasons why I've included it in that deck. Alternatively, if not playing Baby Blaziken, you can play the Moltres. It is, you know, self-sustainable. It doesn't rely so much on Blaziken EX. It's able to one-shot off grass Pokemons as well, so you can consider playing that. And if you do, I think what you compromise on is probably, you know, some of the trainer cards. You probably discard one switch out of your deck, maybe one battle cage and stuff like that. You know, just a few things that you can consider, right? But anyway, the full guide is on my MetaFay link, which is in the link below. But in the meantime, let's check out some games really quickly. Go first every time. Let's see. Just give me a... Oh, we don't want to have an ideal opening hand, right? We want to see what we can do out of a difficult situation. No, we don't really have the most ideal starting hand here, which is this is an interesting matchup here. Fortunately for us, we do have a pretty decent start, and the Okidogi is going to be absolutely essential here. Of course, if they play Tilmas or Gapons and whatnot, that's where the Blaziken comes in. So I'd say it's a pretty nice start. Do we want to play Judge? I think we can afford to discard some stuff away. Even the Solrock, right? So I think we do have one more Solrock as well. We have the Torchics and stuff. Legacy around. Yeah, I think things are looking pretty good. We're just gonna Fighting Gong as well, just to ensure we get the energy cards in order to do what we have to do the following turn. Let's say by some miracle they were to, you know, item blockers or something like that, right? But another plan is to get into a switch out for the Okidogi, but that's not the easiest thing to do, obviously. And with the Tilmas Ogerpon out, that's pretty nice to see. But one issue we may face is, you know, getting the Blaziken EX evolved as this Raging Bolt. Right. It's actually getting the Blaziken EX up and running as soon as possible. If not, they might actually gust us and knock us out with Tilmas Ogerpon, and as you can see in this case, maybe even the Baby Bolt, right? And if we don't, then Torchic will be extremely susceptible, right? which is what we want to avoid. And we do get a candy immediately, which is great. Really, really good. And we got the Blaziken as well. Damn. Right, so... And we got a switch. It's quite a number of stuff we got there. But we're gonna get a Torchic here first. Don't know if we want to be judging them so soon. It does appear that they don't have a spotter card and they do have a weak hand, right? So we're just gonna do this. I think we're gonna heal her just because we're gonna get a combo scan out. We're not taking the fire energy just yet, and that might be a mistake. Oh, I've already Luna cycled, so yeah, that's clearly a mistake. But we're gonna preserve our switch. I'm not sure if sending Okidogi out now is the right thing to do as well, right? If they have a Tilmas Ogapon with 3 energy cards, they're actually doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 150, 180, so it's not too bad. Kangaskhan got a flip hits to knock out Okidogi as well, so that's also not too bad. But if they do have a Raging Bolt, then that might be an issue, especially since we don't have a Fire Energy card in play. So we should have searched for the Fire Energy there. That was a mistake. The whole reason why I took the Fighting Energy card was because I thought I have not Luna cycled yet, and I didn't even bother checking, so 2 grievous mistakes that previous turn. But I think it's still not too bad. He might be sending out the Baby Raging Bolt here via Crispin to knock out the bench Torchic, right? Yeah, this appears to be the case. But that's fine because Okidogi will be dealing a pretty decent amount of damage on the Raging Bolt. I mean, he's knocking him out. And the great thing about the current situation now, in hindsight, is that Solrock is actually able to take 2 prizes on the Latias, right? So that's good as well. Because 140 plus 70, in which we're totally disregarding resistance is also a nice thing to have, right? Okay. Oh, he's actually using this guy to knock out. Okay, so that's the mistake I did. Not searching for the Fire Energy card, which might bite us in the butt here. Should have searched for the Fire Energy card, but let's just play through the mistake. Assuming I don't get a Fire Energy card, right, from the judge. I think it's still fine. I think Blaze is going to be pretty tanky, and it's not easy for them to knock us out with Raging Bolt, I don't think. But let's just see what's going to happen from here. We're just going to judge. If they retreat to Kangaskhan for draw, they can't retreat back again, right? And as you can see, we did not get what we needed to get. But I think it's fine. I think in the meantime, we're just going to charge up Okidogi maybe. And we're just going to enter from here. Mistake, absolutely grievous mistake, but still not too bad. They're going to need quite a number of stuff to knock us out, right? And do you know what? I'm actually thinking of using Solrock to knock out the Larias here. Maybe it's not needed. But let's just see. So he's doing 240? Yeah. So now I think, do we want to knock out Latias with Solrock, or do we want to knock the Ogapon out? I think we knock the Ogapon out, right? Because he's absolutely dead in terms of energy cards. Do we want to use Legacy? Nah, because we want to recycle the next Blaziken and we need a Fire Energy card, right? We can't Seeding Spirit a special energy card, so that's one issue of, that we're going to be facing there. I think we're going to put an energy card on... Do we want to put it on Solrock? Nah, I think we put it on Blaziken, only because we have Switch. So we don't really need to, preemptively prepare Solrock as a pivot, right? But, I mean, Bolt might be a little bit tougher, but I think in the slot box matchup, we're absolutely favored because Okidogi is going to one-shot Kangaskhan, and Blaziken's going to one-shot Tilmas Ogapons, and... I do think if we continue to face difficulty in terms of setting up Baby Blaziken, I do think Moltres is a better tech, only because he's self-sustaining. He can attack on his own, and they don't necessarily require Blaziken to be set up. Moltres is able to one-shot Tilmas, Ogapons of the world, and stuff like that. So I do think I want to add the Moltres in, and if I do, I'll be removing 1 Torchic and 1 more rare candy, and that would open up 2 deck slots for us to add any additional cards which we think are good, right? So I'm considering maybe a Pheasantipede, maybe even an Air Balloon, or maybe one more consistency card in terms of, you know, maybe another Fighting Energy card or supporter, something like that, right? Right, he's only doing... Oh wait, he's actually knocking out the Blaziken. Okay. Right. Oh, and I realized actually, you know what? The Clefairy is actually going to be good here, because Clefairy is going to be one-shotting Raging Bolt, right? So I think we are going to play Cypher Maniacs. We're going to take a Clefairy plus Hilda, maybe? Oh no, Legacy Energy, right? Yep. Oh, we shouldn't have done that. We should have just used Blaziken. Oh, we should have used Boss. But I think it's fine, so we're going to use Clefairy now instead. Right? Yeah, I'm just going to switch out. Clefairy came in handy last minute. And if they're not able to disrupt us here, we're just going to knock out, you know, anybody with our boss's order, right? I think price mapping wise is we're not playing optimally, but I think it's not too bad as well. Now they can't afford to judge anyway, right? Because unless they're playing Unfast Time, which quite likely they may be. But if not, I think we are quite safe from a disrupt, because they're probably going to have to use Crispin to knock us out anyway. So I do think we're in a good spot here. Prism Energy, Anogi Dogi, Gust, either Meowth or Latias or even the Mega Kangaskhan would be game for us. So let's just see. I do think they're going to concede here. They are pretty much stuck. Setting out a Raging Bolt. Yep, we anticipated that. And we are just going to be boss's orders here. I actually do hope they unfast tap us out, because I do want to see how we're going to get out. We do have 4 Fighting Energy cards out of 7 that are already out. 2 out of 4 Fighting Gongs that are already out. So if they were to unfair us into 2 and we top deck 1 more, that's 3 cards. I do think we can actually draw into something pretty decent to unclog us from the disrupt that they're going to be putting us through. But I do anticipate a pass here, so we're just going to boss's order. And just to maximize the usage of Clefairy, we are going to bring out Raging Bolt to take the last 2 prizes. So I think Slot Box is almost a free matchup for us, right? Oh, wait a minute. We are not starting with someone fun. Now the question is, do we put a Legacy on the Clefairy immediately? Like immediately. Because he might be ignored eventually, right? But I think I still should. I think depending on the matchup, I think, let's say if we're playing against Pulp, for example, I do think we have to attach it on the Clefairy immediately. I think we throw away Cyphers, right? We take the Sochic out ASAP. We do have 1 more Cypher and stuff like that, so it's not too bad. The unfortunate thing for us is we are indeed unable to search for... we're unable to use, you know, Fighting Gong or Pokepads if, you know, they were to item blockers, right? But actually right now what I'm actually heavily considering is, do I want to Hilda this turn? Get a Combusken out, so when I Lilies into the next turn, I'm able to use my next Hilda for you know, Blaziken, and you know, just to ensure that we're set up, right? Because if we don't, it's going to be rather tough for us to search out our Combusken, right? But if they don't have a Buddy Poffin, which appears to be the case, they're going to search for a Dragloak, a Drippy. Then I think obviously we will use Lily's Determination. We don't really need to you know, get our Combusken through a Hilda. We can actually get it through a Pokepad. Or we're able to use Rare Candy later on in the game as well. Oh, but they are searching for the Bidoof. Okay, that's interesting. And if they're not going to bench any... oh! Interesting. I think he wants to tank up. If that's the case, do I Lilies here then? I don't think I want to release only because we have the opportunity to get our Blaziken instantly, right? And you know, doing this allows us to still maintain a heavy draw Lilies the following turn because we're not knocking out anyone, right? So it's fine. I'm happy to deal 60 damage counters on you. Totally okay with that. At the very least, we are set up. And I think that's what we ideally want in this matchup, right? Of course, I could have Lilied and draw as much bench as possible, but even then, I can't knock out the Melf, right? Because he himself doesn't have sufficient bench for me to knock them out. So they're going to be retreating the Badoo and stuff, which we are totally fine with. They're bossing out the Blaziken. That's an interesting play. They don't have an energy in hand, right? So if I draw a fire energy card now, they're actually pretty much cooked, right? So we do have this. I think we do take another Torchic here, right? I do think we take a... I'm thinking about taking the Ogi Dogi here, to be honest. Just gonna thin our hand as much as possible. We hold on the Fighting Gong and the Pokepad first and see what we draw into. Fire Energy? Yeah, we got it. I think we do get the Ogi Dogi here. Get it charged up. Most definitely so. Do I want to Ultra Ball for a Combusken? I'm thinking of Ultra Balling to a Combusken. I think that should be the play. Preemptive drawing again. And I'll keep the Fighting Gong for the next Fire Energy card, right? So we're going to evolve the Combusken and we're still able to Luna Cycle as well. So that's going to be the plan here. I do think that ultimately, you know... yeah, if they were to set up here, we're definitely going to judge. But yeah, I do think ultimately we have to position ourselves for a Blood Moon Ursaluna play on the Blaziken. Because obviously they're going to be using Blaziken to knock out Fairy. They're not going to be using... Draglux too early, I don't think. Sorry, Dragapult too early, I don't think. So that's going to be the play for us. And yeah, we're going to be sending out Ogi Dogi immediately. Like immediately after this, right? I do think we want to pull out a Judge play. Before using Luna Cycle. But it does appear to, you know, they do appear to be bricking as well. So I don't know if we want to judge. Another question I have is I don't know whether they're actually going to be using Blaziken so early. And if they do, and they were to damage our Blaziken EX, that's not too bad as well. Because we are almost close to certain in terms of having a backup Blaziken ready, right? So yeah, it does appear that they will be using Blaziken EX here. I'm still thinking whether I want to judge. Maybe we preserve our Disrupt for now, only because they appear to be bricking, right? Yep, and I almost got a Candy Blaziken as well. I think we put it on this guy instead. Because most likely this Blaziken is going down. Lily's Determination. I could have ciphered for a boss. Oh, we got a boss at least. Battle Cage 170. And we are able to boss the following turn as well. The Blaziken is definitely pivoting. He might pivot into the Badoo. It might pivot into the Draglock as well. But I do think our hand looks pretty sorted here. I don't know if we're going to be looping our Luna Cycles that often, just because we potentially want to save it for Blood Moon Ursaluna, right? So Blaziken is going to be retreating here. And they are not using a boss this turn as well. So, and they can't disrupt us because they already used lilies and we didn't knock them out, so they can't use unfair stamp as well. And they can't use Crispin as well, so unless they're able to retreat into a Dragapult and to take us out, or to at least damage us at the very least. If they're not able to do so, then we are in a pretty commanding position because we're just going to be knocking out the Dragapult as well. Now the thing is, do I want to boss for the Blaziken or do I boss for the Dragapult, right? I do think I boss for the Dragapult. Yeah, I think I do boss for the... Nah, do I boss for the Blaziken maybe? Yeah, I think I do boss for the Blaziken, only because I want to prevent them from using Monkey Dory and stuff like that as well, which might be tricky, so that's what I'm going to do here. We're just going to draw a single card and got a Blaziken in play. We're gonna... No, we don't really need to set up our Prism Energy on anybody just yet. But we're gonna preemptively attach some energy cards, right? But let's limit the amount of damage counters in play. So we're just gonna boss this guy. We're anticipating an unfair stamp, but they're gonna need an unfair stamp plus knock out the Clefairy. If not, we basically almost have game here, right? We have another boss in hand, so they're gonna need to unfair stamp. Now if they do unfair stamp us, what are the odds of us getting out of fighting energy card? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, potentially one more in the deck, potentially one more fighting gong in the deck, and potentially 2 more night stretchers in the deck for us to get out some draws. Now if they were to unfair stamp us and Ichipollen, yeah, it's gonna slow things down definitely, but don't think they're coming out from that at all, right? The Dragapult's ready, that's nice to see. Fez is out as well, and there comes the unfair stamp. Let's see what we get. 2 plus 1, and we did get the boss's order as well, so it is game. If they boss the Clefairy and knock it out with Dragapult, we're gonna use Okidogi to kill Fez and Zippity. If they use someone else the active spot, we're just gonna boss with Clefairy on Dragapult, and that's the reason why we play 3 bosses order as well, right? We want a heavy amount of gust because we are, you know, a deck that, you know, we are basically a box deck. We are able to knock out a lot of Pokemons by taking one shots and stuff like that, so bosses order is always essential. They did get the unfair stamp bosses order play, which is something they will always have to prepare for because it's quite likely for them to do that, especially when they have Dracloaks and Pheasant Zippities around, right? So that's pretty impressive. But unfortunately for them, we do have Okidogi around. I don't think they remember about the... Yeah, they don't remember about the Battle Cage as well. As you can see, trying to spread damage counters around. And that's mainly because it's been quite some time since I placed that, you know, that Battle Cage. So Okidogi, here comes his power again. It's not just being a tanky Pokemon that does 170 damage, but the ability to knock out Meowth, Pheasant Zippity, Mega Kangaskhan, and stuff like that is extremely crucial, right? Double Hood Boss's order in play. Here comes the Okidogs. GG. Don't know what funky deck we're going against. I saw some Darkness Energy, some Lightning Energy. Is this a Dragonite deck? Potentially. But if not, we are in a rather difficult situation here. We are going first. I don't know who do we Pokepad for. Do we Pokepad for a Solrock or a Torching? Only because we have a Fire Energy card in play. We have Blaziken EX in play. However, needing to draw into a Hilda is not necessarily the easiest thing to do, right? So anyway, let's see. Oh, mulligan 2 cards. That's nice to see. Right, we can now draw into his Solrock. I still don't know what deck we are going up against, but yeah. Solrock for some draws. I don't know if we want to stretch her back the energy card instantly. Doesn't appear to be the case. Do you know what? I think we should. We are playing a heavy number of stretchers, and I don't want to take the risk. Because if they do play a Badoo and stuff, I don't want to be using a Judge. I don't think so. That's ideal. However, I do see us possibly Luna cycling into a bunch of fodders, in which we will then have to judge Torchic and Badoo. Somehow I have the feeling they were playing against one of my older decks, Dragonite Blaziken. The Darkness Energy card's probably because they're either playing a Monkey Dory or maybe a Solrock. Because I know in my earlier list I'm playing a Solrock, right? Now, if we do draw into decent item searching or Pokemon searching cards, then we're probably going to commit the boss here on Torchic, right? Because they're probably going to send up a Dew, or they're probably going to pass this turn as well. And if they do, they're going to take our Dratini here, yeah, pretty sure. And if they do, what we're going to do is we're just going to pivot out, you know, our Lunatone and stuff like that. So they're keeping the Dratini alive. Now, boss might not be a great idea here only because I don't want to enable Fairs. I do think they might potentially be breaking here. And they've decided not to oh, they are going to retreat. Right. And they have one more energy card in hand. So if I boss here, it's going to be a problem as well. Unless I can knock out the Dratini, but I can't. But knocking out the Torchic is pretty okay here. So I might commit to the boss's orders. Yeah, I'm not going to waste too much time with a Badoo. Oh, okay, they're leaving the Pheasantipity around, so I may be potentially punching into the Pheasantipity then, right? Yeah, let's punch into the Pheasantipity. We can't even risk committing to a boss there, right? Pretty tricky hand. Oh, pretty rough. Now, if they don't kill us here, which the fact that they attached 2 energy cards there is giving me a hint that they potentially okay. I thought they were going to evolve into a Dragonite so soon, right? But they're going to switch out a Combusken here. And that's when they're going to start rolling in terms of, you know, energy acceleration and stuff like that. So they are getting Blaziken involved quite early here. But I don't think we need to be too overly concerned. Only because we have a Clefairies, right? We can take 3 prizes pretty easily here. We have the Legacy Energy as well, and something tells me that they are probably going to bring out 2 Dragonite EX. Now watch them take out another Dratini, man. They're going to take a Dratini, Dragonair, and a Blaziken EX. No, they're taking a Monkey Dory. Alright. So they're going to try and save the Pheasantipity. Well, honestly, it's not even... I'm not even concerned about that, right? I think we do take another Fighting Gong. So we're going to Cypher... I think we Cypher for a Torchic. Definitely. Do you want to take 2 Torchics, sir? Or do you want to take a Clefairy, but we don't have the special energy card? Maybe we take a Lilies instead, right? Do I want to commit a Fighting Energy card here? Maybe. Yeah, let's get Okie Dokie going for a bit. So I anticipate Solrock dying because he's going to evolve to Dragonite EX. If he has a boss, that'd be a bit tricky, but I don't think they do. If they do, bossing out for the Torchic is rather weird, I do think. And they didn't even use Dragonair's ability to search out for a Blaziken EX. So as you can see, they are not necessarily the bestest of Dragonite players. Oh, okay, this dude got the Blaziken EX, fine. But probably should I have searched for a boss there? For a boss's order? I'm not too sure. They did take the Melf. They're probably going to search for a boss's order on my Blaziken EX here. Yep. Unfortunately, they've already used the Modi's Conviction, so that's not too bad. But even if they get a boss, they're gonna need to discard quite a number of energy cards. They're gonna need to accelerate one more energy card on the Dragonite EX. But yeah, it's a bit of a prickly situation here. I hope I can get another Torchic or at least a Clefairy. Or a Legacy Energy for that matter, right? But we're gonna need a special energy card here, which we may potentially whiff. I however do think that we can draw quite a decent amount of cards here. Yeah, we did get quite a number of decent cards as we mentioned earlier. Got the candy as well, got the stretcher as well. We have not used Blaziken's ability as well, and we got a switch, so we do have everything. Things are looking pretty well. Now again, this is something that Barbarical Okidogi can never ever do. They can only dream about doing. Right? And now our Blaziken EX is 1,000,000% safe. They have no fire energy cards in the discard pile. There's a huge possibility that Blaziken EX is not even going to be attacking this turn. And yeah, we can possibly get a boss the following turn as well. I don't know. Oh yeah, well, they send up Blaziken EX because I do think they have a fire energy card in play. But still, even if they were to knock out our Clefairy and whatnot, I don't think that's an issue because we can then just use Okidogi or Blaziken EX to start hitting, and they already fill up their bench space, so we're not going to see a single Dratini being benched as well. So I do think they are pretty much stuck. They are pretty much cooked. They don't even have a bench space for Dratini. I anticipate a scoop here. Now, if I do have a boss's orders, you can, most definitely say goodbye to Pheasant and Dippy D. Now, who do I send out the following turn? I think that's the thing that we want to consider. We can Cyphers into another energy card to keep our... Yeah, but Okidogi is probably gonna... Unless they play a switch, Okidogi is probably going to remain alive because Blaziken EX can't be attacking unless, of course, they have a rare candy and stuff like that, right? But if not... I actually think using Blaziken EX is the safer pick here. But I am nevertheless going to be drawing before I Cyphers. Yep, and we did get the boss's orders here. Yeah, we can't get out the Blaziken EX just yet. You're gonna need a stretcher back. The fighting energy card, which is something I don't really like. They have not played their... Yeah, they may potentially... They may potentially unfair Stampers here. So we're just gonna... Oh, we don't have a combo skin as well. Okay. I'm not gonna bench the Okidogi as well. I think I probably should have used the other Pokepad just to thin out our hand in the event they were to unfair Stampers. So that was a mistake. But yeah, I think all we need is the boss's orders here, which I believe we have 2 more in the deck. Didn't really check that as well. So they're gonna get out the Dratini or the combo skin here. That's fine. We're anticipating the boss's order unfair stamp. If they evolve the combo skin here, it's a bit weird. I don't know why they put out Torchic. I think they're gonna bench Dratini, evolve Torchic, and retreat Torchic for Blaziken EX. So the weakness of this deck is the lack of draws, right? And hence why I think my build, I either play a Solrock or a Tatsugiri. The draw engine's rather weak in this deck, right? So they're gonna retreat and our Blaziken EX unless... Yeah, I'm not too sure what they're doing. They didn't even bench Dratini and prepare for a Dragonite EX. I think they're probably going to scoop here unless they can miraculously unfair stamp me into something. I do think they're pretty much stuck. They might be going for a snipe play, maybe. They might be hitting 200 and readying up Torchic for a snipe play. And we draw into this Pokepad as well. Do you know what? If they can actually pull off the snipe play here, it's going to be absolutely insane. I should have used the Pokepad. That was just a mistake. That was just a huge mistake. Maybe we would have gotten an energy card or boss from that instead of the Pokepad. But in any event, yeah, they are actually quite, you know, it's not off the board for them to pull off a snipe play here. They don't have another 5 energy card in this power as well, so we have that going first. And they're not willing to attack us because they're worried we play a Monkey Dory of our own. Right. Right. I think we just thin our deck, right? So we're just going to take out Yogi Dogi. We're going to bench it as well. Put out a Battle Cage. And Lilies. We didn't get the energy card that we needed. So we are going to retreat nevertheless for a Solrock. Oh, we could have retreated for a Blaziken. There was a mistake there. But that's fine. Probably should have discarded the Lilies actually, I think. We probably needed the Lilies more there. Just gonna put one 5 energy card on you, and we're gonna hit for 70 damage. Should we have put out someone else? Knowing that we could have gotten the Blaziken EX? Not really, right? Not really. Now, unless they disrupt us here, which they can't through an unfair stamp, they can disrupt us here through a judge. And if they were to send out if they were to send out Dragonite EX, that would be tough for us, right? We only have one more stretcher. Yeah. Yep, Battle Cage protecting us here. Yeah, I do think it's pretty obvious that they were waiting for the baby Blaziken play. It's quite obvious. I think one of the upsides we have is me having some experience in this deck. I'm just curious, can we pull out the Acelina play? Nah, not really. We're just gonna boss's order them here. Let's, you know, finish them off close. But Clefairy coming in handy.